In this video we will create an animation for the tree elements. Whenever we hover the mouse over one of the trees, I want it to shake, emit a sound, and then we will also add a delay to prevent any glitches in this animation. Let's start by opening VS Code once again, and in the CSS file I will create an effect called shake using @keyframes. And at 0% I will write transform translate, and then I will set the pixels to 0 and 0, meaning the current position. Then at 10% of the movement I will set -5 pixels and 0 pixels, at 20% 5 and 0, and I will keep alternating these values until 100%, tweaking them until I'm satisfied with the result. I forgot to name this animation. Let me clarify. I will call this animation shake. Finally, I will create an over effect. To do this, I will check the name we assigned to this element in the HTML. We'll need to make a small adjustment here, which is to change the GID to have the same name across all the elements. I'll simply change the name to trees. Now all the elements have the same ID, and before applying the over effect in CSS, I will just import a sound file of the tree shaking into our HTML file. I already have the sound file I'll be using in my folder. In the description of this video I will also include a link to this file so it can be downloaded. Let's open it to listen. This is the sound we will use. Returning to the HTML, right after the body tag we need to insert audio with the ID over sound and then close the tag. Then add a path to the sound file using src inside the audio tag, and then type the type of the audio. In this case will be audio/mpeg. Let's go back to the CSS and create the over effect. I'll write cardinal trees over. Set the animation to shake, 0.8 seconds is an out. If we hover the mouse over the trees, we can see that the effect is working. However, we want this to happen only on the specific tree we are hovering over. And we also want the sound to be played. To remove the effect from all the trees, we just need to delete one thing in the HTML. The global ID assigned to the trees. So let's go to HTML, search for trees, and we need to remove this ID here, this global ID. So just delete this. And now the effect should work. Let's see. And yeah, it's working. Now let's add the sound effect and the delay to the animations using JavaScript. Let's start by typing document.addEventListener DOM-content loaded, and the function will have a const items that will be equals document query selector all trees, and another variable oversound, and select the oversound from the HTML. Still inside this function, I will create another variable, this time a let variable. Let canPlaySound equals true, and then still inside the function I will type items.for each item, create an arrow, and then item.addEventListener mouse over, create a function, and then an if statement. If canPlaySound oversound current time equals 0, then oversound play canPlaySound equals false. And then set timeout, create a function, canPlaySound equals true, and then we define the value we want to assign. This time I will use 2000. This code plays a sound when hovering over a tree with a 2-second delay to prevent repeated playback, ensuring a smooth functionality. For example, if we remove the 2-second delay, we notice that the sound glitches whenever we quickly hover the mouse over the element. I'm going to reapply the 2-second delay, and that's all for today's video. In the next video of this series, I will quickly show how I created identical images for all the zoo animals, which will later be used.